Hey guys, so today we're going to learn about integers. Okay, so what are integers? Integers are basically numbers 1, 2, 3, 10, 15, 100 and all. But when you come to secondary, we're going to deal with not just 1, 2, 3, but -1, -2, -3. So we have positive numbers and we have negative numbers. Okay, so let's say, okay, we all know this. 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. 6 minus 3 is equals to 3. These are things we are, used to. 100 minus 27 is 73. These are numbers, these are operations that we are used to. Okay, 5 times 6 is 30. 25 divide 5 is 5. So these are simple. These are all positive, like positive numbers. There's no confusion here. Okay, but what we're going to look at today is when there is a negative. So for example, if I put a negative here, -2 plus 3, what happens? Okay, so I'm going to teach you a simple way to do questions that involve negative. When you think of negative, you think of you owe someone money. That means someone borrowed you money, you need to give them back. So you owe that person, but you haven't given them back. When you look at positive number, think of as you paid or you gave someone money. So positive, like a positive thing, you borrowed someone money, you gave someone money. Negative means someone gave you money, you still have to pay the person back, so you owe someone. So let's say I have a question. -5 plus 3. So, -5, you must always look at the sign before the number. Okay, so -5 plus 3. So what is -5? Negative means you owe someone. So you owe someone 5. Okay, so remember, negative is owe, positive is pay. Okay, so you owe someone 5 and then you pay the person 3. So when you owe someone 5 and you have paid 3, you still owe them a little bit more. So because you still owe them, it's going to be a negative answer. So you owe someone 5 and you pay them 3, that means you still owe them 2 ringgit, for example. Okay? You owe someone 10, you pay them 5. So you still owe them another 5. So because you owe, it's a negative. Okay? If you owe someone 15, but you paid them 30, that means you paid them extra. You owe only 15, but you paid extra. So what happens is, you paid an extra of 15. So because you gave them an extra of 15, you felt so kind-hearted, you gave them an extra 15, so it's a positive 15. Or you can just write it as 15. When it's a positive, you can write it as it is. You don't have to write the positive symbol. Only when it's a negative, you write negative. Okay, so this is minus and plus. Okay, but what if you have, for example, multiplication? Very simple. Multiplication and division is actually very simple. You just multiply them as normal first, the numbers. 5 times 3, 15. Okay, now here is a negative. Here in front of 3, there's nothing. If there's nothing, means it's a positive. When it's a negative and a positive, it becomes a negative. Okay, so for multiplication or division, you have to remember this. When it's a negative and a positive, your answer will be a negative. Okay, if it's -5 times -5, okay, I'm going to put this in a bracket because I have a times and a minus. I have 2 symbols side by side, so I must put this in brackets when I have 2 symbols side by side, so you don't get confused. When I have negative multiplication, again, I times it like normal. 5 times 5, 25. Now, when I have a negative and a negative, it will become a positive. Okay, or you can just write it as 25. But negative, you must put negative. So you multiply the numbers like normal, 5 times 5, 25. And then instead of a negative, you put a positive. Same thing with division. Let's say I have 15 divided by negative 3. So I divide as normal, 15 divided 3 is 5. Now this is a positive because nothing is in front of it. Positive and negative, I get a negative. Okay, if I have 25 divided by negative 5, so I divide as normal first. 25 divided 5 is 5. Negative and negative becomes positive. Okay, if it's just 25 divided 5, then normal, it's just 5. Positive 5, because this is a positive, this is a positive. This becomes a positive. So if both numbers are positive, then you will get a positive answer. Okay, so this is multiplication, division, addition, and subtractions. But now we have negative and positive numbers. Same thing with fractions. Same thing with mixed numbers. It's all the same thing. You do the operation accordingly. Okay, but what changes is your final answer will be a negative or a positive. So it depends on that. Okay, so that is what we are learning in integers. And one more type of question that I can ask is, let's say I have 6 minus 3. Teacher, I have 2 symbols side by side. What happens? Do I follow this or do I follow this? Go back to this. Okay, you cannot have 2 symbols side by side. So what you do is, you cannot have negative and negative like together. You can, but you have to convert it into 1. So look at the same thing. Negative and negative becomes positive. So your question will now be 6 minus and minus becomes plus 3. So 6 plus 3, 9. So when it's side by side, you see what is the rule. Negative and negative become positive. So you change this, you rewrite this as this. So this is your step. You have to write this question again, but now you change the negative become positive. Okay, I'll give you another example. 5 plus minus 2 equals to 1. So plus and minus, so when plus and minus are side by side, or minus and minus, or minus and plus, you cannot, you have to do something about it. So you rewrite it as 5, plus and minus is minus 5 minus 2, which is 3. Okay, so these are the rules we have to remember for integers, for negative numbers and positive numbers. Okay, and then we will continue again next week. Bye!